What's up, Declanators? I'm here with Tom today, and we're going to be talking about WandaVision. So, WandaVision is basically a follow-up to Avengers Endgame, and we follow the two Avengers, Wanda and Vision, who, as we know, are lovers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they are stuck in a sitcom reality. And there's a big mystery element involved. We don't know why they're there or what the hell's happening. And as the show goes on, stuff unravels and it's a good time.
It's a great time.
It's a nice family sitcom in the suburbs.
It is. With
a hint of horror and mystery. I think the best thing about the show was by far and away the acting.
Definitely.
I feel like they really mastered all the different time periods. And I remember in particular Elizabeth Olsen, she was talking about how she wanted to make sure her voice was right in all the different periods, all the different
actually
decades.
I noticed that in the 50s she's got I think they call it the trans-Pacific or transatlantic accent.
Yeah, and her voice is a lot higher pitched as well.
Yeah.
Then later on, she's got kind of a normal talking voice.
It's true. Attention to detail, not only in the costumes but the set design.
Yeah.
From the different time periods is really cool. So, one thing I think in the 50s, so the very first set piece they had, there was an ad in the middle from Stark Industries for like a toaster or something. Yeah. And it looks like a toaster or an appliance that would have been from that era. And it's all just very period accurate, and the attention to detail is... I really like the word authentic. I think that's a good way to describe a lot of how the show feels.
Sure. Like with the first episode, you just plunged right in and have no idea what's going on. And like, this feels like exactly like a 1950s sitcom.
Yeah.
That you only really discover at the end of the show what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it week to week, I think that's one of the things that kept making me want to come back.
Yeah.
Just because you wanted to figure out and unravel this mystery with all the characters.
Yeah. I really like how they kept the mystery going, and it didn't spoil itself. No. Kind of in like the first couple of episodes or anything like that.
Right.
It makes you wait, and then the payoff is so much higher, and that's a new sort of thing for Marvel. I don't think they really do that a lot, and they're limited by format because, you know, it's a 2-hour movie. You got to keep the pacing is a lot different to that of a TV show, but the way they did it with these like weekly episodes, and they kept the mystery going for the whole time, I think is very impressive. And not only is the dialogue really good too, but the just the whole pacing.
Right, well, let's talk about some of the dialogue, and I think there's some lines in particular that stand out. The one that everyone always talks about is, what is grief if not love persevering?
Yeah. I
think it's a really good line in a way, and very true, and really encapsulates the main theme of the show as well.
I think so. I didn't watch it when it came out, but when you see the line out of context, it really doesn't work. But when you watch it in the episode and then you take it all in with everything that's happened before and after and everything, it becomes so much more meaningful.
Yeah, and that's what the show's about. It's about love, and it's about grief as well.
Yeah. Some of my favorite dialogue, like strings of dialogue, is in the last episode where Vision is talking to White Vision.
White Vision.
Is that his name? Is it White Vision?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay,
yeah.
That's a downside. That's a dumb name. What the heck is White Vision? Talking about the ship of Theseus, that was really cool. It's almost like in movies when they're hacking, and it's like, oh, I'm getting into the mainframe, and they're using all these jargon words that don't really mean anything. But the point of the scene is to make you understand that they're hacking something or being technical, and it's cool and impressive, right? But with this, they're not just throwing in random philosophical garbage to overwhelm you and just make you believe that they're having an intellectual conversation.
No, and it made sense for his character as well.
Definitely. They're actually talking about something real and meaningful.
And relevant to them.
Very relevant. And it's one of the show's biggest mysteries, I guess, that it leaves you on is Vision. Is he what he claims to be? Is he a human? Is he what is he?
Yeah.
You know, if he's rebuilt, is he still Vision? And I think that was so cool that they managed to tie that all back into the Ship of Theseus story and encapsulate it into like 3 minutes of dialogue or something. That hats off, honestly. That was so cool.
But it was also nice that there wasn't a big final battle between them at the end with heaps of explosions and stuff. It was just them sitting down and talking, and that was how he defeated the evil White Vision.
Yeah.
Just through talking and philosophy.
Which is true to his character as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like the sort of I'm gonna blow you up type of character.
But then that leans into the really only downside of this show, which is the finale.
Oh boy. I don't like the finale to the show.
No,
very
me
much
either.
at all.
Me either.
It feels like a big missed opportunity. I was not surprised when I watched it, which is sad to say, but that's sort of how Marvel movies end.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
The thing that was disappointing about it though was that it just didn't fit the context of the show.
Yeah.
It was really grounded and it was full of sitcoms and stuff, and then all of a sudden they blew out and it was a massive CGI explosion, which really wasn't anything to do with the other part of the show.
No, not really. I mean, it almost felt like there were a bunch of people in the boardroom with a checklist, and they had to check off final battle with CGI. Yep. Magic shooting out of Wanda's hands. Yep. The clear antagonist. That's what I meant. Yeah. Like, I think you're right when you said it just doesn't fit the rest of the show.
Yeah.
And that's the rest of the show. That was what made it all work.
And also, Agatha. Even though the show is really good to rewatch, on a second viewing, her motivations really don't make sense at all.
I actually thought I was missing something, and that I was meant to know who Agatha was, and like she was a character in some thing that I missed, but no, she's just...
They introduced her in this show.
I think she wants to expose the fact that she's the Scarlet Witch, right? And make her reveal her powers, and then so that she can absorb her powers or take them away from her or something, but...
Yeah, I think so.
If that is her intention, that feels really like a toddler could have written that. Like, it's not...
just wasn't very clear.
No.
It doesn't make sense when you rewatch the show knowing how it ends as well.
Yeah.
But it is a very good show to rewatch.
It is. Yeah, definitely. I love the fact that the episodes are short. There was good content throughout all of the episodes 100% of the time, but they could have easily turned it into like a hour-long episode with filler in the middle of it, which I'm so glad they didn't.
But Scarlet Witch's costume at the very end was very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that one. I felt like it was feminine, but also didn't feel objectifying at all as well, which was really nice. And it's really cool as well after the show's finished to see so many women dressed up in that costume and looking fantastic and feminine, but also not objectified.
They treat her with a lot of respect.
Yeah.
I think is how I would put it, which is really cool because, I mean, she's a fantastic character in her own right and also a fantastic actor. So I'm glad they didn't reduce her to pretty woman with badass powers or something. I feel like...
She feels like a real person.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
true.
Unlike some of the other female characters, I feel like Wanda or Scarlet Witch is one of the only ones where boys and girls alike really appreciate and enjoy her. It wasn't like a movie like Captain Marvel where it felt like it was just for women. WandaVision felt like it was for everyone, like families, young people, old people. I think that's one of the really cool things about the show. It had something for everyone.
That's kind of what made me want to watch it. I was like, why has this got so much appeal? Because typically they don't, and that's okay because Marvel really knows their audience at this point.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that they're trying to expand it. I think that's a really wise decision, and it makes for better content too. Yeah.
I think one of the other really cool things as well, I think if you can make a film or movie or TV show and you learn something through it about the real world, then that's a big appeal as well. And I feel like I learnt a lot about sitcoms from the different decades and what it was like to live in those times.
It shows that they actually care a lot about the show and the story that they're making, rather than fulfilling an obligation to pump out another IP to make money for Disney, which is typically what happens, unfortunately. But
Yeah. Overall, what would you give WandaVision out of 10?
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, and if you got rid of Agatha and fixed the final episode, it would be a strong 9.
Yeah, if they didn't have Agatha, I would have given it a 10. But because they did and the final battle kind of weighed down on it a bit, I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10. So maybe we should meet in the middle and say 8.5 out of 10.
I'm a goofy guy! I'm a crazy guy! I'm here to talk about a WandaVision! I don't know why I turned Italian just then. Sorry to all of the Italian viewers.